That's enough of that. So I don't get shut down. All right, so we'll wait and see if anybody shows up in here. It is a pop-up. It is a pop-up live stream. Boy, my hair is looking dark right there. Pop-up live stream. All right. Oh boy. What I don't like about pop-up live streams is just having my camera. And man, my lips are dry. Pardon me. All right, two there. Not sure who you are, but hopefully you'll come on and say hi. Yeah, I hate pop-ups because there's a limited control. Hello, Lynn the Okie. Lynn the Okie. Thank you for popping by. So glad you're here. And I thank you for all the good thoughts you've been sending me, Lynn. It's very appreciated. Very, very appreciated. It's a struggling time. It's a time of struggle. So how are you doing? And if you feel like sending out to letting your social media people know you're over here, feel free to send that out and let them know. So I've had to bring Richard to urgent care. It's nothing critical, but he needed to see the doctor. And to get in and see our doctor, it takes a little bit, and he's having some pain. And so we felt like it was been there long enough, and it doesn't belong there. And so here we are, back up back down on the campus where the hospital is, or excuse me, there used to be a hospital here. It's a building now. Anyway, we are here, and he is in the urgent care unit, and he said it's going to be a bit of a wait. We've been here about a half an hour, not even a half an hour. So what are you up to, Lynn? I'm curious. I'd love to know what other people are up to. I know you're in Oklahoma. How are you? Are you suffering any of the? How are you doing? How are you doing with that? I know that this will sound crazy to you. Okay, and I will accept that. It sounds crazy to people. I've always wanted to be in a hurricane. Now, I have not wanted to be in a tornado and a hurricane both, okay? Be in the community where it's not really bad, where it's like a small one. You know, like there's control of that kind of thing. That just exemplifies some of my mental health issues. Somehow I could control the size of a hurricane or a tornado. I'm doing good now. Well, I'm glad you're doing good, Lynn. I do. I like to see that. It makes me happy when people are just doing well. Was a little bit of a battle to get around and be able to get here and do this. It took me about an hour and a half through the whole process because I was in pretty bad pain this morning, but my husband really needed to come to urgent care, and no, he could not drive himself. And so I needed to figure out how to get myself able to do it. And I'm doing okay now, but it's a very painful process, you know, getting a shower and having it, just the whole thing. It's very painful. And then in the shower, I tweaked my neck. All right. So talking about things going on with us. Yeah. Like I need one more pain. Tweaked my neck right in there badly. So doing a little battle with that. Yeah. No, if you've got some friends you'd like to invite over, you think they might come, come on over and say hi to Lucretia. So today, my son and my niece-in-law were out driving around. My son and his brother's wife, and they were out driving around running some errands because it was beautiful out. Okay, it was gorgeous. You know, what could I say? It was beautiful. And then all of a sudden, as life can do so easily, well, I guess I better turn you around. it turns into clouds and rain from blue skies. You know, clouds and rain. Oh, all right. So he had to go do some photography of their ranch, and he's looking at putting together a thing. I can't really talk about it right now, but he's working on it, and he will in time share that with people because it's something people might be interested in. So today I was thinking about one of the ways I get out of my own self. My friend Josh from Josh Sherman, my friend Josh from Sherman Family Farm lost their livestock and some damage from the tornado. There was some of the damage. 10 killer. Oh, I am so sorry. That's just awful. I'm so sorry to hear that, Lynn. See, that's the kind of thing I don't want to see. You know, I don't, but the power of something like that and how it just is nature and how nature just says, I don't think it intends to do damage, but it's made up of energy that causes damage. So how can it not do damage? If you know what I mean? I know that probably sounds a little bit weird to you. Sure. All right, where did you go? There you are. Keep it charged up. We're at 70%, so no problem. So I was thinking about not just my own self. That's one of the ways I get out of my pain is I think about what's going on in the world and other people, not just bad stuff, but good stuff. Because there's many good things that go on around the world, not just the nightmares. And makes sense. Not just the nightmare stuff. Okay, so I was watching this story, and this part of the story is going to be kind of sad, but it's a good story. There were AS Blind Made Productions. Hello, Alfonso. So happy you're here. I'm glad to see you. So glad to see you. Hey, if you've got some people you might be able to invite over to the party, why don't you let them know on your social media? You never know who might want to come over. So I was watching this video today on YouTube, and it was about some Australian boys who smuggled drugs into, I think it was Thailand or Indonesia, one of those countries. Okay, one of those countries. And most of them got life. 2 of them got the death penalty. And in the 15 years they sat on the death row there, which that in and of itself surprised me. I figured a country like that, it would be kind of automatic, but they took time. Their lives had changed so dramatically and were so productive in the world, and the good that they did and the things that they changed, that I couldn't, in my mind, I'm thinking, there's no way they will do this. They will see the value in these 2 human men, young men, and you will see that putting them to death is not necessary. And I watched this documentary on them, and they had fully changed. They were completely different human beings. Well, the world is going to be the world. And I had to look ahead I got on my phone to find out what actually happened to them before the end of the documentary, because I couldn't wait. Because in my mind, I'm banking on the fact that they are going to see the value in these men and everything's going to be good. Hello, Big Joe. Hello, beautiful. Hope you're having a great day. I'm new here. Well, Big Joe, thank you so much. Thank you for showing up, for coming by. I love new people. Love new people. I wish I'm on my phone, so I don't have really any fun things I can play for a new person on here. But if I did, boom, you would get one. But thank you. I appreciate you being here. We're just kind of talking about the world. And I was sparked this morning by watching something on YouTube. And I'm throwing it out there. Okay, that's me. I'm throwing it out there today. So I had prayed and I'd prayed and I thought, God, please, please, please make this be an example of how not just a person can change, but that a system can change, that a system can just be there. You know what I'm saying? And it can see that, yes, it's got certain consequences to it, but that, you know what? People change. People, okay? And in 15 years, they had changed. And the system, I got to see just so many things, some beautiful art, people that he trained in art. And okay, that's a user that's banned. I apologize for that person, you guys. Please watch for anybody coming in. And Lynn, have you ever been, Lynn and Alfonso, do you know how to monitor on live streams if I make you a monitor for me? Thank you. Thank you so much, Lynn. I keep it short because it's very easy to handle. Yes, I'm having a blessed day, except I didn't care for the man who was just in here. Okay, Lynn, do you know how to moderate? Okay, I'm going to make Lynn a moderator so that if I'm chatting and I miss something, I'm going to have to mess with the phone here. So just be patient with me, guys. I'm going to be turning it the other way for a second because I need to get to YouTube. Because you do this in YouTube. All right. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right. And then I'm going to find Lynn and make you a moderator. Lynn the Okie. All right, Lynn, you are now moderator, sweetheart. Trouble can happen anywhere. Yeah, Alfonso, you'd have to really have like a one training lesson, but maybe we can do that sometime. All right, so my point is I watched how these wonderful young men, they they were one thing. And over the years, they turned into something totally different. They had something to give society. They had something they had learned. Something, by the way, that that only certain people can teach another person. And it's the person who's been through it. See them get executed, but they were executed by firing squad, and they had their minister there, and she came and she was just 10 feet away with them. the two that got executed. And there were others as well, including one person that was intellectually disabled. There, they don't care if you're intellectually disabled. He thought he was going to dinner. And the minister said, no, honey, I think you're going to heaven tonight. And he was totally confused. So I thought about that. And I thought about how, get my arms on my steering wheel, how life can throw some really weird things at us and things we are not necessarily used to, things that confuse us. I'm not used to that. And so what it did is it caused me to start thinking about my beliefs. Now, I first and foremost, my right hand to God. I believe we all have the right to our own beliefs without being battered, beaten, or bruised, verbally, physically, or spiritually. Your beliefs are as valid as my beliefs. I hold that dear, and I believe that with my whole heart. Okay? I am that person. So, that said, I'm not sure I support the death penalty anymore. And here comes hubby. I've got to unlock the door.
So, 45 minutes.
Okay. I'm on a live stream. So you get to rest. So, can you just pull up the YouTube side for me, and I'll look at it. I'll have it in my hand. You don't have to watch it. You don't feel good. So it made me think about my belief about the death penalty. Now, I already feel, so the problem is that there have been so many people exonerated, and sadly, most of them after the fact. Most of them after they paid that price that they didn't owe. Now, I support the death penalty even still now. However, I have, in the last couple of years, I've shrunk down what I believe it should be for. And that's what I believe it should be for. And that's the only thing. But I will say, to some degree, it makes me want to stop supporting it, to pull it from their box of goodies that they can do to deter people. I've never believed, and I have never seen, that was weird. I have never believed that there's been anything that backs up showing that the death penalty is a deterrent, because my understanding in this country about crime and punishment is that when someone does something wrong that requires jail, prison, that they go to that for two reasons: a punishment, but more than that, if you cannot give that person something when they come out of that institution that allows them to have changed their life, then that failed. And I believe that. So I never believed that. As long as I've believed in the death penalty, even when I believe 100% in it, I never believed it as a deterrent. So I'm curious about that. Where is the data that backs up that the death penalty is a deterrent? I do know, and I believe, that there are people who probably should, if based on the behavior that was so aberrant, that they should not probably be amongst the living. However, those people could all be amongst their own selves. Still manage it, control it. Don't to the best of the ability. Don't allow them to prey on one another. I'm just saying, mute. I'll be right back. I'm back. So I know. I believe there are people that probably should be put to death. However, I'm really starting to wonder. And here's another example why. So Scott Peterson. Does anybody remember Scott Peterson? Before I go on, just put a little thumbs up if you remember who Scott Peterson was from about 25 years ago and what he did. And I'm just going to sit here and hum, my mama. I go out walking after midnight, out in the moonlight. Let's see. Okay, you remember him, Lynn. And it looks like you're the only person I can see. Alfonso, I don't know if he's interacting, but you remember him. So we'll go from there. The other 4 people I'm not seeing on the chat yet, and I hope you'll pop in and say hello. So I wholeheartedly, with every fiber of my being, convicted Scott Peterson, as did, I think, 99 9/10 of the world. Okay, that's fine, Alfonso. You don't have to remember him. So just, I wanted to know if I needed to share the story. So Scott Peterson, about 25 years ago, I think it was, 20 to 25, was convicted of killing his beautiful 9-month pregnant wife, cutting her up and putting her in San Francisco Bay, I believe it was. On more than on direct evidence, more on circumstantial evidence. But I'm telling you, it looked cut and dried. He was guilty, 100%. He got it convicted, and he's been at San Quentin ever since. Well, I believe so secondary to him, there's an organization. Oh, good Lord, I can't believe I forgot their name. There's an organization called, it is the big one that helps people who they are convinced are not guilty, and they were given a life sentence or a death row or something. So these are people that looked completely guilty, and some of these people it's much older cases than his even. So anyways, I'm just using Scott as an example because they're taking his case. So that means they have new information that could exonerate him. And I'm telling you, he looked 100% guilty. And if in fact he is found innocent, it will be based on this new compelling information that could exonerate him. And he could have been put to death. And he may be innocent. What if he's innocent? You know, and I'm voting to put him to death. There's many people that it has happened to. Many, 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 more than there is accountable right now that it happened to. So, a woman just got off a death row recently in the last 2 years, actually, and she did not do it. She didn't do it, and she'd been on death row. They took 25 years of her life. She was there for 25 years. So I'm rethinking. I'm really And now she's super sick lady. She's a super sick, ill woman, wants to travel really badly, has to carry around a big oxygen tank with her. I mean, she's screwed, putting it crassly, but honestly, I feel bad for her. That's why I said she got screwed. So, I'm feeling like I'm going to have to look at this. What am I able to live with? Now, I will tell you, personally speaking, just personally, me and Richard and I, we always said when we had Brent, he's an only child. Our kid, Alexander Brent, is an only child. And had somebody done a horrific thing to him and was gone, we would have handled it ourselves, potentially. I couldn't have lived with myself knowing I allowed my child to be taken and killed, that I wasn't vigilant enough, or I hadn't thought of every despicable way bad people get their hands on children. I know that's pretty dark, but it's just the way I am. I love my child with every fiber of my being. I am a tiger mom. Or I'm going to rephrase that. I'm a cross between a tiger and a grizzly. How about a Tisley? I'm a Tisley. And nobody going to hurt my kid and doesn't end up having to account for it. So I understand those feelings, by the way. I understand those emotions of a parent who says this, that, or the other. The system has to be passionless and hold people accountable equally across the board. Equally across the board. They can't give certain things to one person that the other person isn't able to get as well. You know, it's just right. It's the right thing to do. So when you have that kind of stuff going on, you really have to pay attention to what is going on, I guess. I mean, so that was one thing that really got me. That really made me start thinking between those two situations, the Scott Peterson situation and what I saw today. A little better light. So it's definitely, sorry, it's a little bumpy here. I'm on the top of a parkade. The urgent care is downstairs, but I don't like parking inside the parkade, and I knew I was going to do a live stream. And so I thought, go up on the roof, you can take the elevator down. And if I have to go to the bathroom, there's just a place right inside there. So anyways, that was one of the things I was thinking about. It's really crossed my mind. So Lynn, is there a certain standard you would want to see met for it to be legal? Because in Oregon, here's the deal. Oregon voters have voted 3 times to make it legal over the last 20 years. Unfortunately, we had a governor about 15 years ago who put a stop to all death row things, capital punishment. He put a cap on capital punishment. And I could tell you I was pissed at the time. I was not a happy camper because I was a voter for it. And I thought, how dare this one person He has his beliefs. He is the governor, but how dare one person be able to control a state? It was the voters' choice. And this SO, person comes in and he says, I am the king governor and I'm going to change your rule and I'll make it my way. I don't take very kindly to that. And I was livid. And then he got thrown out of office because of mismanagement. He allowed his wife to be a part of the government where she was never meant to be. And then, and so another woman was appointed and she did the same thing with the death penalty. Stop the death penalty. And then she was voted in for like 2 or 3 terms. Seems like forever. And then the woman after her, the same situation. They're all from the same, I'm just going to say the same Democratic Party. And I'm not saying that all Democrats even believe in not having the death penalty. I'm not saying all conservatives believe in the death penalty. I think it's too broad. That's way too broad of painting, so to speak. You know what I mean? A little too broad of painting. I think that all people can you could be a conservative and not want the death penalty. I actually think there needs to be a lot of changes in the prison system. I have a niece in prison, getting ready to head to Tennessee from Oregon's prison. Jennifer is like my own child. Her mother passed 24 years ago. She's 50-ish or so. One moment, please. Someone was trying to call me. So I believe there needs to be prison reform, and there needs to be many things. So I have a niece who is like my own child, and she is going to prison, or she's in Oregon prison right now. It has to do with drugs and with writing bad checks. Because see, it's kind of hard to hold a job when you're on drugs and you still need to live. And so, I'm not okay in it. I'm saying that ironically, like people don't know that before they do make that decision. But I love her. I support her. And being a recovering alcoholic, I am very well aware of it could have gone either way for me. But luckily, I've been sober 29 years, so I'm pretty good. It doesn't mean I'm forever sober, but I'm pretty darn solid. So my niece Jennifer, she doesn't mind me using her name, has had a very rough childhood. My sister was a prescription drug addict. Her mom, she was older than me by about 10 years. And so my little sister were still kids. You know what I'm saying? We had to step up and be parent to our sister and her kids. And all the drama and trauma that comes along with living in an addict family like that. So I took a lot of responsibility for my niece. My sister took a lot of responsibility for my niece and nephew. And so as luck have it, she did 14 years for forgery, 14 years she did in prison. Okay? Damn. I'm telling you, if I did 14 years, something inside of me would probably, I hope and pray, would have clicked and said, hey, Lucretia, you know that 14 years you didn't get to see, you know, anything in your family, from weddings to deaths to birthdays to births? And by the way, the 2 children that you had and you never got to see grown or raised, let's not do drugs again. Let's stay away from crime. Let's stay away from criminal people. Well, it didn't work like that for her, you know. So she just did 2.5 years here in Oregon. And now she's headed down to Tennessee for maybe as much time, maybe a year to 2.5 years, something like that. And then she will come back home and start dealing with the crap that put her back in a position to make a choice. And by the way, nobody slips. That's just, you know, what a slip is when there's a banana peel on the floor. That is a slip. And you slip and fall on a banana peel, but you don't slip and fall on a drink or a needle or a snort, okay? So, she's had a tough life as a result of this. And she's a pretty tough woman, but very broken at the same time. Very broken at the same time, if that makes sense, you know? So, when she was in there the first time, she became a beautician. She became a stylist. She went to school, living my best life at 60. Hello, I saw something about you. Weren't you having a birthday or something? And I do know I am giving you prayers for your surgery. My BFF had a surgery. Yeah, last year. So yes, I believe that there needs to be change in that system. And so my education that I went and did in my 50s, my degree and the master's degree I almost got, and the degree I did get, it's all about helping people learn to change through systems. I know how to build a program. I know how to build a system from the ground up. And so you finally hit your 1K. Well, for me to do anything, but congratulations to you, sweetheart. I am so happy for you. And you have your 3,000 hours, I assume, as well? Because sometimes the 1K is where it's hard for people to get to. It looks like there's 6 people here, but I think I'm seeing 3. So I really support having some things change and utilizing the prison system for really the most egregious offenders. And I'm not what would be considered a bleeding heart. I am a conservative. I'm a conservative who knows firsthand. By the way, it's not like I know it on paper. I know firsthand what certain people need because they live in my family. Because I have been that person, even though I've never been to prison. 4,000 watch hours, right? 3,000 working on my 4,000. Okay, all right. Well, that be nothing. That's right around the corner. I will tonight play your list if you would like. And if there's anybody else in here who would like to play your list, go ahead and I will play your list for you. I'll go there tonight when I go to bed. I'll turn it on in my family room and let it play. So those things really caught my attention today. And I knew I was going to have some time here waiting for Richard in urgent care. Okay, well, absolutely. This life at 60. And I encourage you to go over there. If Lynn wants to drop that link. If you're able to drop the link, that would be great. And go over there and take a look at her channel, Living My Best Life at 60. I'm 62. I'm 62, living my best life at 62. Because you want to know why it's my best life? I got no other life left. And it has to be my best. It has to be. And I believe it's going to be. So in our area, so a couple of things about our area. By the way, I'm encouraging you, if you have any questions for me, drop them. Just go ahead and drop them. Or you can leave them in the comments afterwards. I don't care. If you have any questions for me about my channel, about me, you just ask, and I will do my very best to answer them. I'd like to start doing a, Alfonso. Lucretia, I really thought you were in your 30s. I'm 40. You definitely look younger. Honey, I do not always look like this, okay? Although this isn't much makeup or much hair. It's just craftily done. I appreciate your comment, though. That makes me feel very good. Because reality is, I'm 62 years old. I've got a very broken body, and I am trying to recapture it so that it doesn't take me out earlier than necessary. You know, the thing about my condition is it is not something in and of itself that could kill me unless I end up with bone cancer as a result of so much damage to my spine from the surgeries. Now that could happen. That legitimately could happen. And I know that my doctor keeps an eye on that. However, the spinal condition is not going to cost me my life. And by the way, living my best life at 60. If you want to let your friends know we're chatting over here, come on, tell them to come on over. We are, send them on over this way. If you can drop a link for this live stream, I would love to have that done, Lynn. If you can't, I understand. Some people have different skills in this little world of being a moderator. And Kaylee can't do it right at this time in life. It's just not, she's not able to attend these. So, where is that? Oh, yes. Just drop me a question. Actually, afterwards, if you could drop a question in the, or you can do it now. Ask me anything. Go ahead, just ask me anything. And then afterwards, if you would come back and ask a question in the comment section, because I would like to just start doing a comment section at least once a week, really just to address questions, you know. And there's a couple other things that I'm going to start addressing. I shared the stream on my community page. Thank you. I appreciate that, Lynn. Richard Lake. Yes, Richard, that are you still waiting in the waiting room to be taken back? I'm still sitting here on a live stream. And you are sitting in urgent care. I love him so much. I really, it's my obligation. You know, this morning I was having extremely bad pain, and thank you, Lynn, so much. So I was in really bad pain that my mornings are my nightmare. It's just the way it is. It's my nightmare time. And at that time, I can't really think I'll ever be able to get up and do anything. That's how bad it is. But Richard really needed to come and have this situation looked at. And, you know, I know, Richard, I know. So anyways, I I told him, I said, well, see if you can we have Ride Source here. And either one of us, we have access to a ride to doctor's appointments, and even non-medical appointments, if we need them. And I said, please see if you can get a non-medical, or if you can get a medical ride, same day. And they were going to get him one, but I was able to get up. I did it like, it took me about an hour and a half. I first went and brushed my teeth. Bye, Richard. I first went and brushed my teeth, and then I laid down, because that's the position I have to get in, like on my left side in the fetal position, to open up my spine and open up my back, and so I was going to say something. But I was determined. He was not going to have to take a Ride Source. That he makes sure I always get where I need to go, or he goes with me. He can't drive at this time, and so it's medicine that he takes. He just can't drive, and so, anyways, but he's with me. He goes with me every time. So I sat there. Then I got up, went and took my shower. And I was literally in so much pain by the end of my shower, I had to run over and trying to get you out of the better light. I had to quickly run over to the bed and get laid down, get a dry towel on my pillow and get it laid down so that I didn't soak the pillow with my wet hair. But little at a time, on my own terms, I was able to do it. And tomorrow I have a doctor's appointment in the same building. This is where a lot of doctors are, for the group that we belong to. And it's a sore. There's something on top of my head that's not normal. And I took a picture, or my niece-in-law took a picture of it, and she sent it to my dermatologist. And my dermatologist really wanted to see it in person and take a biopsy of it. And so, and then I've got one kind of odd thing on my shoulder, and I want that looked at too. So that is that. So, all right, you do things in stages as well. I don't have another option. It has to, it's just how it is. And then I work things out, and that's the point, is that I eventually, not like a speeding bullet, but I eventually trudge my way. In a piece of literature that I abide by, they mention trudging the road of happy destiny. And I've lived by that in another part of my life. And that is exactly how I have to look at this as well. Trudging the road of getting dressed, of getting around for the day. I like to watch Roy and Becky, but if I watch Roy and Becky and we have some place to be, it's difficult. It's difficult. So, what plans do you have for Memorial Weekend coming up? I'm just curious what you got planned for Memorial Weekend, for Mother's Day or Memorial Weekend. It's a very busy time for my family because of how we have always lived our life, how I grew up. Just curious if anybody puts up any comments. There's my email if anybody should want to email me at any time. So I grew up, my family used to be very close. There's 6 girls and a lot of children in the family. And my parents had children in twos, so to speak, you know. She had the older 2. I have a sister 15 years older and one 13 years older, or it's 15 and 17 years. It's 13 and 15 years older, I believe. And then I have sisters like 10 and 8 years older. Then there's myself and my little sister. We are the youngest 2. She's 2 years younger than me. And between me and the next one up is either 6 or 8 years. So my daughter brought me beautiful purple too. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. We're going to have a picnic and a planting picnic party for Mother's Day at my house. We're going to plant vegetables in the garden. We're going to do that's the only gift I want. I have my son. I have my adopted son, so to speak. He's my sister's son, my sister that's been gone for about 24 years. She had a son as well. And I love him and we're connected like mother and son. Sometimes he calls me mom, but mostly he calls me aunt. I don't care what he calls me. It's a title. His mother was his mother. His mother is his mother, whether she's not here or she is here. He doesn't mean it disrespectfully, and that caused ruffle of feathers in my family. And I understand that. I certainly wasn't trying to disrespect my sister. I love my sister, and I know she loves loved her children, and her children love her. It's just for them, there are kids that always call people mom or dad, and these are that type of kid. They always friends of the family, they call mom and dad as well. So anyway, we are, I know it sound fun. We, William and his wife, and probably a couple of grandkids are going to come over for a picnic in our backyard. And it's going to be a planting picnic. And we're going to do hamburger, hot dogs. I'm making German potato salad, people. I'll probably make some macaroni salad. And hot dogs. You know, just regular old food for a picnic in the backyard. And then put people to work. No, they're going to have blessing from this garden themselves. You know, it is for our family. It is for our family. And I don't have a large back. We live on like 8/10 of an acre. We have we live on one of the old styled large lots. This is no matchbook. We could have a big fight in our house and nobody around us is going to hear it. If I scream loud enough, somebody would hear, but I don't need to do that. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that because it's going to be about 80 degrees. Now, here in the Willamette Valley, that is not always a given on Mother's Day. And then, so the real big thing that my family has always done has been Memorial Day. My parents trained us up that you take flowers to the graves of your family gone before you. And okay, sweetheart, you have a great day, and I will see you next time as well. I appreciate you coming, and thank you for letting people know. So I what was I saying? This is where Kaylee comes in handy. She knows what I'm thinking. Telepathy. Memorial Day. So rain or shine, and most of the time it was rain. Once in a while, it would be hot, but rain or shine, we would get a bunch of flowers together, some from our gardens, some from the bushes, the rhododendron bushes, the butterfly bush, the snowball bush that we had. We would get together and we would buy additional, because my mother was an over-the-top person, of course, a very bigger than life lady. Betty Jean Riley Kincaid. And we would go to, we have, and I'm going to count them out loud for you. Here are the cemeteries, and it's because it's funny. This is funny. All right, so we would go to, on one side of the valley, up over the mountain, we would go to where my dad's family, much of my dad's family is buried, to Marcola Cemetery. And then we would come back downtown, or excuse me, no, we would start, I'm sorry, I was wrong. How could that be? We would go out to Junction City on the west side of the valley, and we would go to where where we've got family from both my mom and my dad buried out there. No, just my dad. And then when Richard came into to our family, he's got a cemetery near there too. So we would go to two. One is called Rest Lawn. One is called, I can't think of it. Okay, so we have those two. And then we would drive straight south about 10 miles, 12 miles to another cemetery called West Lawn, where we would put stuff on my brother-in-law's family's grave. Else. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So there was 4. Sorry for that. I don't know what happened. I'm on the Wi-Fi for the hospital here. So good evening, Bud Files and ES. We're just talking about some of the rituals that we grew up with as kids. And for me, on Memorial Weekend, we go to the cemeteries. And I was just saying, we're up to 5. And then we go about 10 miles to another one, a really nice one. That makes 6. You just sent me an email. Okay. Well, I'll look at that in just a few minutes. That makes 6. And then my and that was kind of way out in South Eugene, way out in South Eugene. And out there also is an old mausoleum that my grandmother's brother was entombed at that mausoleum. So there are 7. There are 7 of them. And then we shoot northeast to one more. And that is a very old cemetery. And that is 8. And then over the years, we realized, you'll never believe this. So that we're at 8 cemeteries. 8 cemeteries. We realized we have family. There is a hill on the west side of the valley. It's a Christmas tree farm. Beautiful Christmas tree farm. And it's, way up high. And I had ancestors that came here in 1846 and got land there. Like, I think it's 400 acres or 600 acres. I believe they got 600 acres. 600 acres there. And they farmed that land, out in the 1800s, early 1900s. Well, some of them ended up being buried on top of the hill that was right across the street from their farm. God only knows how they got the people in the 1800s up this hill. I'm telling you, the hill is like this. I don't know how they did it, but they're buried right at the very top of the Christmas tree farm. And so that makes 9. And I intentionally go there every year because that's historic. There's a few historic places here, situations for me that are, and there are historic burials out in 2 of the other ones, but that is something that was unknown to us for decades. And when my father was doing some genealogy back in the 80s or 90s, he was working in the 90s. Back in the 90s, early 2000s, he went to the University of Oregon, and I don't know how, but he discovered we had family buried on top of that. And sure enough, and they mow around it, and it's just right at the top of the farm, and you can see it. It's under an old oak tree, massively big oak tree, huge oak tree. Now there is all over there is poison oak, and my husband is highly allergic to poison oak. So that is kind of maybe morbid to some people, but I really actually kind of enjoy looking at the old tombstones and looking and seeing, a person was lucky if they made it into their 70s. If they were 62, if I'd be gone, back in those days. If it were now. So that's what we'll be doing for Memorial Weekend. Now, as you know, I struggle with sitting. If I can't sit, I've got backup. If I can't go, and my purpose this year in going was to plot it all out, to make it have people, so that when my little sister and I are the ones who are the carry-oners of this, except for our mothers. All of my sisters will go to our mother and fathers, but not to everybody else's. But my little sister and I always have. So I really desperately want to get this book of graves done, so that when I'm gone and my little sister's gone, our kids, and my son has done it all of his life, so he knows, but I just want it done. I want it down on a piece of paper so that family couldn't. My goal is to have family be able to go through that and find out, oh, who was Uncle Jim Kincaid? Was Betty Kincaid really as crazy as Lucretia said she was? Yes, but she was also very loving. And I probably would not have the ability to stand up for myself and be as diligent as I am if I hadn't had the mom I had. I give a lot of respect to my mother, and know that she was if she could have been Weller, she would have been Weller. She loved us very much. She had 6 daughters. She probably shouldn't have had all 6 of us. It's just saying. She was high strung. Very high-strung lady. So, yep. So Mother's Day, I will be doing garden work or watching, depending on how bad I am. I want to be able to do garden work. And one of the things that they're going to do is build a couple of, raised pallet gardens. Raised pallet gardens. We have a garden area. Richard got it tilled. I think we're good. Yeah, got it tilled. Somebody was kind enough to loan it to us. We don't have one. We did not have the money. Do you know how much it costs to buy a tiller? It costs a whole lot of money to buy a tiller. I'm just saying, a lot of money. It could be well over $200. And we don't have $200 to spend on a tiller, or I would be happy to. I have to check something here that was just sent to me. Oh no, I won't watch that right now. That's not necessary to watch. Oh, come on. Darn it, I shouldn't have opened it up. Well, there I am. Okay. All right. So nobody had any questions? Any questions about the channel, about me, about the world? I'm sick of the world. Okay, first of all. Second of all, I've already talked about the death penalty issue. Second of all, crime. Are you seeing crime in your area tick up? Okay, so my doctor, who I absolutely adore, my general practitioner, tries to tell people crime is going down. He's full of crap because one block, well, so a block from my house and then 3 blocks down from my house, a man shot and killed his girlfriend the other day. On the same day, earlier in the morning, about 5 miles from where my little sister lives out in the country, a woman had been shot and killed. I know the man from the recovery program that I'm in. And and I know him. I mean, I know him. It made my heart sick because I know him as a clean and sober, loving, kind, what can I do for you person? And he killed a lady. And he left her in the back of a truck and then he ran. He did get caught. ES. We just want you to take care of yourself, get back to normal, take good care of yourself, eat right, exercise, and stop worrying about things you don't have no control about. We love you. Well, thank you so much, ES. I think all the time. It's a habit I got into in college. I'm not blaming college, but yeah, so addressing that, I could tell you, let's see, we want you to take care of yourself, eat right. I am eating right, and I'm generally having 1 meal a day, maybe some rolled up meat or something for a second meal. I'm going to make an appointment with a dietitian. I wish I could see someone who really understood the Mediterranean diet. I need someone to just take my hand hold me, write me out a diet for the week of the Mediterranean diet, and there we go. I've got my diet for the week. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to put it together because I'm given too many options. I'm a person who gets a lot of options, who shouldn't have access to too many options. You know what I'm saying? I get caught up in the options. Oh, how can I make it different? How can I make it better? Is there this of it? Is there that of it? But I love the Mediterranean diet. First of all, I love vegetables and I love raw vegetables. I love raw carrots. I love salad. I love celery because it is a backdrop. It ain't a flavor of its own. It's a backdrop and you can do anything with it. There's just so many things that I love about that. And I love chicken, breast generally. And I love fish. I love fish and olives. Okay, so that's part of it. So, I'm just saying the Mediterranean diet, and if I could get in the pool 3 times a week. So here's my dilemma. So, I have a thing for the YMCA. It only costs me $15 a month. And that fits my very limited bill, so to speak. Unfortunately, and what I can use is the pool, okay? They have 2 pools. The reason I got my thing there is because they have 2 pools. One is an exercise pool. Duh, that's what I need. I need the exercise pool. 2 things about that. It's only open a couple times a week like that, where I could do exercise walking and exercise 2 times, maybe 3 times a week. And the rest of the time, it's early in the morning, like 5 to 8 o'clock. 5 to 8 o'clock. If I want to be somewhere at 8 o'clock, you know what time I'm going to have to get up? I'll have to get up at 5. All of the exercise things I really want to take advantage of. There's a thing called chair exercise or chair yoga and chair exercise, because that's the kind of thing I can do. Love it. Would love it. It's at a time I can't possibly be there. And I just didn't look at the time. I just thought it was all day. I just made an assumption about what was going to be available. My problem. So that cost me $15 a month. There's a pool that's 4 minutes from my house that I used to swim in all the time. I'd go there at 7 o'clock in the morning. I would do lap swimming and exercise walking. It's a pool. They also have a workout area, but it's a pool, Emerald Park, and they have a walking park. Well, it's $4 every time I go. So if I go 3 times a week, that's $12 a week. That's $50 a month, basically. I don't have $50 a month. I really, truly don't have $50 a month to do that with. I mean, I'm doing a little side hustle thing that goes into my Patreon, where I'm making a few dollars, it's doing some like work online for people, lots of different people. It's very short. It's a short commitment, like 12 to 15 minutes, and then maybe something more if I get chosen for one of the bigger opportunities. So I'm trying to make extra money because I can't work. I'm unable to work. Ain't gonna happen. So I have a budget. I have things that I have to pay for, and it's just how it is. So I'm trying to make some extra money to be able to access this pool instead of the YMCA. Because it's open all afternoon long every day. All afternoon long every day. 4 minutes from my house. In less than 10 minutes, I am in the pool. You know what I'm saying? It's just always been that kind of frustration for me with that particular, and I can't get it paid for. I can't get it paid for, through the program that I'm in. They don't work with the park. That park doesn't work with program stuck with what I get to use. So I am on the healthy exercise. I actually, I would sleep at night. Okay, my mind used to run nonstop like you. I would sleep at night and my mind was running. I meditated a lot, and I'm glad I got off the roller coaster ride. Yeah. Yes, dear. It is. It's very unhealthy. And what I don't even, I'm not necessarily meditating. I'm not going to say I'm even at that level of thinking. I'm, it's just things, everything in my life is being talked about in my head, amongst each other. No, how to deal with this or how to deal with that. Who needs this and how does this get taken care of? And all of the responsibilities that I can't fulfill in the condition that I'm in. Oh, thank you, Naj. Well, I really do appreciate it. And you're not late. Nobody's ever late to one of these. If you feel like sharing this out to your friends, share it out. Let them know you're over here chatting with me. I'm waiting while Richard is in urgent care. He's been in there about an hour and 15 minutes. We're just talking about life things. But back to ES, my mind just, I think about all the things that I need to be doing or that I'm missing. Most of the time, to be honest, it's all the things I'm missing out on. It's the things like not being able to travel. With every fiber of my being, I desperately want to travel. I would be down there with Roy and Becky in that heat right now. Richard has like a little, I'm going to call it a pea, maybe a little bigger than a pea, on his rib cage, and it hurts really bad. For Richard to say, I need to go to the doctor, it's been going on about 5 days. He has not pulled a muscle. He's recovered from his broken ribs. It just appeared out of nowhere. And he is definitely in pain. So for him to say, I got to get there one way or another today, he really needed to go, because getting in with our doctor is a pain. Uh, although our doctor's only a little over a mile away, Richard could walk a mile to our doctor, no problem. He loves to walk. So he's going to be fine. He just needs to have that kind of figured out. So this coming Sunday on Mother's Day, I'm going to be having a gathering at my house for Mother's Day. It's going to be a barbecue, a BBQ, and a vegetable planting party. And by the way, you never guess what I'm getting. I already have blueberry bushes, but they're in a location that they're not good, easy for me to get to. Not easy for me to get to. And I need ease of mobility. Even I've got a good, I mean, the walker that I'm going to use in my backyard is heavy duty. And so I think it will be better than the one that I've used when I'm back there. So I'm getting 5 strawberry plants. 5 strawberry plants. So we already have blackberries. And even if I can't get to them, Richard can get to them, or Brent or somebody. Also, I'm getting blackberry bushes. Blackberry bushes. Richard will try to stop me. He is not stopping me. We are going to have blackberry bushes. And I'd like to have a plum tree. We used to have in the backyard, my dad always grew apples and cherries. Now, that was at a time when I didn't want nothing to do with being no farmer. You ain't going to make me go out there and pick up those piles of crap. Just how I felt about it. And 1 second here, I got to say something on a I where's V on this split? LIVESTREAM. To my friend. Come on now. That's got to go away. All right. So, and so I also want to get a plum tree. Rich, we love plums. I mean, we love plums. You know, the part of me that's the word I am a preparationer. A preparationer. I'm a preparationer. The word prepper brings about some very bizarre words, thoughts, even from me who wanted to be a prepper. You know, it believes prepping is important. Let me rephrase this. I believe that being prepared for anything is absolutely necessary. We are on a fault line. We're on a fault line. There was a massive, you know, we could have an earthquake here anytime, a big earthquake here anytime. We're, you know, we live in a valley where we have bad weather every year. I did some shorts about the ice storms we had. That's not uncommon anymore. We never used to have those, by the way. We never had these kind of ice storms where I had I will find this picture. I took it on something. It's somewhere in the cloud, you know, that cloud, but the cloud is huge. People, my only gripe with the cloud is it is huge. And I have a beautiful picture of this tree completely encased in ice. And there is going to be a photo contest in Oregon for the Parks Department. I want to enter that picture. It needs to be in color, but it is in color. I mean, it's not black and white. If it looks black and white, it's because that was the color of the clouds overhead. But I have so many pictures from that ice storm I braved ice roads, ice road trucker, ice road Toyota Camryer is what I was, to get to the park, to Skinner Butte Park, and take some fabulous ice pictures. I mean, good. So, anywho, I want to get a hold of those pictures and I want to get them in there. So that's something else I'm going to be working on. So back to what I was talking about, my backyard. So having the getting the blackberry bushes, the strawberry bushes, and we have blueberry bushes. So we could have a freezer full of berries covered, you know, that, but I would just like plums, I would just like one plum tree, just enough for the season. Okay, I don't want a ton of plums. We live in an area where it was nothing but orchards before there were houses. And there was this one family who owned almost the whole community there. And by the end of their lives, when they were in their late 90s, and Richard was painting their house for them, we were out after he painted the house. We went out into the orchard, and he was there. They had the most fabulous plums. They're gone now completely. They're past. They're passed away. That was way back. Our son was probably in grade school. So it's a long time ago. But I have loved plums ever since I ate their plums. So anyway, some plums, and we already have grapes. My dad built a grape arbor 25 years ago. And so we have a little bit of work ahead is also what I'm saying. So today, after we're done here, Richard and I are going to go swing by 2 blocks from my house where the lady with the strawberry plants has 5 of them waiting for me, $1 a piece. Blackberry bushes are going to be a little more. They're like $3 a piece, but I'm going to get 3 of those, 3 blackberries and 5 strawberries. Blackberries are up on my nephew's ranch. Massive amount of blackberries, but there's rattlesnakes, people. I mean, there are rattlesnakes in that area. He has killed a rattlesnake, and a rattlesnake was just seen by the gate they have to open to go through at night, and anytime they come in and off the ranch. And so there's a lot. There are rattlesnakes up on the mountain. He's up on, actually, if you look on a map and find Coburg, Oregon, and look to the east of the Coburg Road exit, he's right up there on the mountain, about a mile. And he's just, kind of up. And so he lives completely off-grid kid. And up on that mountain is a cougar or 2, maybe a family now. They've seen the cougar, minimum 1 black bear, saw the black bear, lots of deer. And so, it's a beautiful place. It's a place. It's a great place. As a matter of fact, if I could get my RV ever working correctly, completely again, I would go sit my RV up there during this late spring and summer when it's all dried out. Because trust me, friends, I am not going to go get stuck in the mud. I see it could be a video. Okay, it's content. I understand. But Richard, no, he's not in any condition to be getting us out of neither one of us. So we have to be mindful of our bodies. At this time in our lives, we're trying to be a little more mindful of our physical situations. So, all right. So what else are you doing? Sounds like a beautiful place. It is, Naj. It's a beautiful place. I did a video on it. I went up there with my nephew, and I was in the passenger seat. It's a very bumpy, and I think you probably saw a short where I'm shooting my pistol and practicing. Because if you're going to have that responsibility, you better practice. And so I was practicing, but his windshield was filthy. Okay. The reality was, and I wasn't paying attention when we left. I was just excited. We were finally going up on the mountain. I hadn't been up there yet, and I wanted to get up there. What can I say? I get way overexcited. So we will be going back and getting some great pictures, especially in fall. Fall is when I did it. And that was the purpose. It was fall. I have an owie on my thumb. I tore a little piece of skin off right there last night, and it gushed blood. I had to, I was holding, pressure on it with a piece of tissue. And before you know it, it just was soaking through. I had to put a tight bandage on it. So I don't know who else is here, but it's 5 people here. Whoever's here, hello to you. I let my friend had to message me on Messenger, and I told her live stream. I was hoping she'd come on the live stream. I love her. She's somebody who knows me from here in town. Very good friends. I love her. She's from New York, she's from New York. She's a New Yorker. And that's just, yeah, most definitely you have any kind of weapon, you need to practice. Yes, ma'am. So 100% responsibility for practicing and safety. Here's what I've learned. Here's what I know. I do not like, I'm not a fan of Miss Slim Twiggy. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is well, safe from the storm. I'm in Canada. Well, I'm in Oregon. I'm just right down the street from you. So yes, I practice. What I found out, Naj, is that I actually need a revolver, not a semi-automatic. My hands have I have arthritis really bad in my right hand, down in the pocket of my thumb. Okay, and I have arthritis in other places. I was a softball player for 9 years and catcher. I was catcher, and I have damage to my hands from that early of athletics. I just do. And they didn't, treat things like that back in those days. Back in the late 70s, it's just a girl playing softball. How the heck can she get hurt? Well, I can show you how I got hurt and how I have repercussions today. So, anyway, yeah, I want to change it out for what's called a hammerless revolver and have that be my protection. So, are you all aware of, I want to miss and safe from this in Canada. All right, got that. I So has anybody in here gone through one of these storms that's been going on? I know that I believe there was supposed to be one in Kansas today and somewhere else. I keep looking over to see if Richard's coming out, but he's not yet. We've been on here 1 hour and 31 minutes. I was born to talk. What can I say? Miss Slim Twiggy, Indiana. I just know there's been a lot of storms, and there's a town that was pretty well, at least a big section of it, destroyed. I don't know if it was in Oklahoma or what state it was in, but it would look horrible, and 1 person killed. If I lived in an area like that, I would want to have a safe room. Really, if I was going to live there for I would have a safe room. Yep. Okay. All the way up into Michigan. Yes. Yep. So Indiana and Michigan. Yep. I would want to have a safe room because those things are monsters. They're coming for you. That's the goal. So if you're on here and you just got on here and you feel like you'd like to share this out with your own social media, your channel, please feel free to do so. Invite them over, say hi, and don't forget the thumbs up. Hello, thumbs up. I almost never do that. I just figure if people want to give me a thumbs up, they're going to or not. But see, I forget. Like when I come into one, especially if it's later, I almost always forget. And then I'm like, oh, I got to go back and do the thumbs up. Tell me, all of you spend time on YouTube. I recognize everybody for the most part, and there's 6 people on here. I'm going to ask an opinion. There's no right or wrong. And by the way, I don't believe there's any right or wrong. But I'm curious. I've heard that you legally can't own any firearms if you are legally blind. I would imagine so, Alfonso. I would feel uncomfortable having a blind person have a firearm. And I'm all for A2. I support our Second Amendment, or 2A, whatever they call it. But I think it's not safe. I don't know how a blind person would be able to, that would be a danger to themselves and clearly to others. So tell me what you think about this. I'm going to keep this as vague as I can. All right, because it's a channel I absolutely love, and I love many, many channels. Okay, just so we're not getting anybody trying to figure it out. I love this channel, but I love many channels. And at a point in their thing on their videos, they're asking people, they're telling people, go to my page, and if you would like to support me financially, you can go to my PayPal. I believe it's PayPal they use. Go to my PayPal. I've got $5 and $10, and I respect this person. I respect where they've got their channel to. I respect their personality. I respect how they travel, everything about them. I feel uncomfortable with that. Specifically saying, I know that on the YouTube side of it, there's the little money thing. I can't see that from here. So if somebody ever dropped me any money, when I'm on my phone, I couldn't see it because I can't see my YouTube side, if you know what I mean. So if you've never done this, you don't know what I mean. However, when I'm on StreamYard, I'm able to see everything. When I'm on my computer, I can see everything. So, but anyways, and mine at this point, I just have set up. It's just set up. If a person were to put $1 on there, wonderful, great. I'm not doing it for money, because if I'm doing it for money, I'm really this keeps me moving. It keeps me thinking. It life, if you know what I mean. If there's money tied to it eventually, but in a million years, I would never say, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even feel comfortable to have. I don't think I offer enough at this point to have channel memberships. So I'm just curious what you think. If you think it's okay that the person, because it's not going to change my opinion of them. I really do like them. They're someone I could be friends with. And if I were friends like I am with, I've got a couple of BFFs. I've got 2 BFFs. Me and Kaylee could talk honestly about this together. So I'm just curious if you feel comfortable with that, as people who go into live, or not even on a live stream, but just on the video. If at the end of one of my videos you saw Lucretia going, especially saying that this is a cheap way to live, here's what got me. It's a cheap way to live. You can live on $1,000 a month, or $1,500, or $800, whatever it is this person lives on. And if you want to support me financially, you go to my webpage, and you can send $5, $10. If you want to really send me $50, there's even a $50 option. What, did you have more for dinner and drinks? So do you find that offensive? Just put a Y, or an N. If you don't find it offensive, that's okay too. I don't know why. It's just me. Maybe if I valued what I do more, if I felt that I give you guys more value, maybe that would feel okay to me, but I don't feel anybody gives that kind of value. You can say where your page is, but don't tell them. I would never. If I may have channel memberships someday again, and I probably run a little thing, or say, I have channel memberships available. If you're interested, great. If you're interested not, great also. It's just there. So it's got, so what do you think? Just a minute, that's heavy. He was letting me know there's 6 people ahead of him. All right, so, oh no, what happened? I'm still here. I know I'm still here. There I am. All right. Blind for having a white cane is considered a gun in Florida. What? A white cane in Florida is considered having a gun? What I just recently heard, so I'm going to leave that topic alone. I'm just curious, if you will be so kind as to tell me, do you feel comfortable with someone at the end of their videos saying, please go to my whatever, and if you feel inclined to financially support me, I've got these options. Do you feel comfortable with that? Or would you rather him say, just, anyways, that? Okay. Or not. And there's no right or wrong, because, okay, like I still love this person. I'm just confused by them. Everything I've ever been told, that's considered e-begging. That is what would be, if Blind Views ever got a hold of this person. Yikes. All right, so Alfonso. In fact, I just recently heard in Florida, it's illegal to carry a white cane. Well, aren't they supposed to be white so you're seen? I have a blind friend. They are considered a weapon. If you look at the case law of James Hodge, a 60-year-old veteran, got arrested. He better get a good attorney, because that's not right. And if it's a law, that's the legislature. See, I've been seeing these there's fighting over this thing in court I saw on TV. It's the legislature who does that. So are you saying you found that offensive? Okay. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. Okay. All right. Well, that's okay. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer to that. I'm just curious about it. So let's see. That took a lot of energy. When I get into something energetic, man, it takes over. All right. So healthy. I want to make sure here. So I've got my email address. There we go. Life of Lucretia. I'm going to go back to the name Life of Lucretia. Instead of Lucretia YT, my son did that, and I don't like it. I never liked it. I didn't like it. I don't know why he thought he could fix it better, but no, thank you. The National Federation for the Blind has been encouraging blind people to leave Florida. Wow. They've even provided resources to help them get out of Florida if they wish. Because of this whole blind cane thing being a gun, a weapon, that's just insanity. See, that's where I find insanity, is in laws like that. I don't care wherever you're at. That's an insane law. I don't know why anybody would. It's been that way forever, people. The white cane, I believe, has always been the color of the cane for a reason. I mean, it wasn't like they started out with black and figured, uh-oh, we need something lighter. Well, I hope that somebody ought to really get to the legislature. So here's the deal. This needs to go to the federal level. So constitutional rights, you know how a person gets to challenge whether their constitutional rights are being violated? When you have standing. Standing means I've been affected. I've had harm of some type to one or more of my constitutional rights. I believe that could be turned into a constitutional challenge right there. That law, because I don't have it in front of me, but the constitutional law class I took is telling me somewhere in the back of my head, they're standing there somewhere he could get some help. If they just say, if you want to help me out and donate to me Visa my website, Visa via my website, that they should not suggest any amount. That would be great. I would think that's very classy way to handle it. That's a classy way to handle it. So, okay, good to hear. I think there's a right way to handle it, and that's the right way, making sure people have the information, and then if they want to act on it, they will. I had a Patreon as well, and I still have the Patreon, but it's not active. And I always thought maybe I should do, instead of doing a channel membership, I should do a Patreon and have a link, because Patreon has some different abilities. It's a little broader. There's a little more, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just a visit. You just meant visit. Oh, okay. So when I'm really, I have a private family page with all my sisters. There's 4 of us still living and a couple nieces. So you should, when I'm really in an unhappy mood and I'm responding to one of them, I do it in voice to text. I'm constantly having to apologize. It's crazy. Yeah, you meant spell or you meant visit. Okay. That makes sense. So anyways, yeah. And also it's in, if you have it in your description, just say, I have a description of all of my, my store. If you want to support the channel via my store or my PayPal or my coffee cup, whatever, coffee cup's cute. I love Camper Kevin's coffee cup. And just 99 cents, or it's 99 cents or $1. He's one of them that I do. Roy and Becky are, I feel indebted to them because they were so welcoming and kind to me. And when we came, or to me and Richard, when I say me, I mean me and Richard, but they were so kind to us when we came there, and we did learn a lot from them. And so, and also from Tim. Tim and his wife are very sweet. She is such a sweet lady, and their daughter is a really nice young lady. And Tim, just really, really kind person, very warm and open. Mel and Nettie were there, but it was at the end. They were sick. They weren't feeling well, and they weren't out of their RV. And it was right before they were leaving. So I think we had one campfire with them. And so I didn't get to know Mel and Nettie, which I would love to have. And then across the way from us was it was a woman. I see her plain as day, and I can't think of her name. And then my friend Kim, from her channel name is Kim from, I've interviewed her twice. How could I not know her name? Her channel name, Kim from Rome Town Girl. Kim from Rometown Girl came and camped with us too. And Richard helped her out with a little situation. And so, you know, we had a great time. I would love to spend one summer in just to say I did it. I'd like to have a t-shirt that says, I survived a summer in Quartzsite or in Kew. I survived a summer in Kew. I think that should be a t-shirt. So anyways, there's 6 people still ahead of him. And yeah. It's taken him longer than he thought, and he's hurting, you know, he's in pain. So I think let me see, we've been on here. Okay. I'm gonna go for 10 more minutes and then say goodbye. And because I've got a couple of shorts that I want to get out. I like putting out a short. Did you see my short from last night? Did anybody see last night's short? It got almost 2,000. It got almost 2,000 views. And night before last from my short, I got 8 new subscribers. Really, I'm serious. It was weird. 2,000 views almost from that little short last night. And I was just laying in bed. I was laying in bed, and there was some wisdom in there somewhere. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got 2,000 views. No, it was goofy. It was a goofy one. I like to have fun. I do. I enjoy having fun, you know, and I just like to goof around. Let's see. I was born in not this particular building, but right across the way is the hospital I was born in. But Eugene, the stupid, and I'm going to use this word strongly, stupid, STOOPID, stupid. The stupid Eugene City Council allowed the hospital in this town of nearly 200,000 people to go bye-bye on the spur of the moment within a month. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's heartbreaking. It has history here back to the early 1900s. All of my sisters and I were born here in this particular hospital. It was a different configuration then, but it's beyond comprehension why the city council chose to allow it. And now it's not that it's not. There's another hospital just as close, actually closer for me, but this hospital was right on the campus. And it's also right in the middle of an area of the community where there's a lot of mental illness. Mentally ill people would come here. The people, when it freezes, when it snows, and they're sick and injured, the bus station is here. The hospital is here. You know, who makes these decisions? It isn't people who think rationally. I have thought so many times I would love to be the mayor of Eugene. And it's not that I don't think I couldn't do a good job. You know, I know there would be people who weren't excited about it, but I believe I could do a good job. But I got a history, you know, I got a history. I never went to prison. I told y'all, I think I've told y'all I've been to jail twice. The first one was my fault, and I deserved to go. And I was a kid, and it caused me to miss my wedding. But the second time, it was not, well, it was my fault. I had too many tickets I had too many car tickets. If you think you can't go to jail and have because of tickets, and it just be some, tickets, little tickets for over parking, yeah, you can in Eugene, Oregon. I did. And so I had to go to jail. I was in a situation where I had to go to jail. It wasn't even me that got caught by something. Anyways, I had to go to jail for that. And I just sit there long enough for Richard to bring down the like $350, $450, to come down here and get me out, bail me out of jail. But sometime I will tell that whole story of going to jail the night before my wedding. It's funny, but it's not funny. I laugh at it now because I watch these shows, these police shows that are specifically about arresting people. And I see these women and I think, been there, done that. Throw a fit. If you throw a fit with a cop, and rightfully so, you're going to get arrested. And I was 21 years old, people. I was a brat. I was very bratty. If I had a sister on here, this is how I know I have no sisters on here. They don't give a crap. But I don't have a sister on here because they would be backing that up. So yes, it's an interesting little story. And I wasn't driving. It wasn't for drunk driving. It's just my alcoholic story is it was pretty much over by the time I was 21, with a little bit of crap when I was early 30s for 6 months. But other than that, I've been in recovery for 40. I've been in a recovery program for 42 years. Sober in it for 29. 41 years I've been in a recovery program. Blind. Geez, I thought I was the brat. Oh, Alfonso, my friend, I can be not anymore. Okay, I believe I am a different person. Thank you, God. God did save me from that. He saved other people from me. Is what by helping me become a better human being, God saved me from making your lives miserable, so to speak. One time, I'll give you kind of just a stupid example. Stupid with the O in the middle. Me. I was a teenager, probably about 15, and I was riding with my sister, Patty, and her husband, Patty, our mom, and me were going to Coos Bay, Oregon. It's on the coast here, and it's on kind of on the central southern coast. Not the south, but just the central southern coast. And because her in-laws had a beautiful giant home built like one of these houses built up at the back of the bay, looking out at the ocean. And we were going to go up there and spend the night with them. My mother knew the in-laws, and I knew the in-laws. I'd met them several times. So all the way over there. Now, I don't know why. My sister had converted to Catholicism, and I was nothing but a spoiled brat. I had no religious beliefs at the time. This is before I had my salvation experience at 18. But so I told I was somehow, and I don't remember how, there was a conversation about God. Maybe it was just talking about my sister's becoming a Catholic and whatnot. I don't know, but the word God came up, and I just said it something kind of off the cuff, like there's no God. And I got a strong response from my sister and my mother. Now, my mother would be the last person you'd think was a follower of Christ. My bad mouth directly comes from my mother. Now, You don't see it on here, and I have cleaned it up 90%, but it's still there. And I'm not blaming her because I'm an adult and I can choose to drive away from that behavior. But it gets me something. So anyway, I go into this spiel. I don't know where it came from. I just don't know why. I had them on the ropes and I was playing them like a fiddle. I didn't necessarily believe that stuff that I was saying, but I had them, they had become so angry at me that it was like, you know, that spitting madness when somebody says I'm spitting mad, it's like that. And that was a bad way to be. You know, I will say that's probably a bad trait. And I don't have that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I'm not enticed to behave like that. That's a shameful way to behave. Simply want to get into something you're not believe in, even just to piss people off. Come on, who does that? Selfish, spoiled Lucretia. That's who. So no longer like that. And I most of my character defects, you know, most of them didn't just go away when I made a decision to be sober and clean. I did do some work on them. And even now, there are times when I have to let go of those things. And you know, fear is one of them. And fear comes from lots of different things. And so I have to be cognizant when I'm starting to feel fearful. Is this a real thing to have some fear about? Or is this my ego? Is this my need to be in control? What's the fear based in? And then I can kind of figure it out and let go of the fear. But I, you know, it's that kind of stuff. So I've had to work on many of those over and over again. So one thing, back to the whole pool thing, I am going to try. I think I'm going to pull out of, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but it's the only thing I can do. I think I'm going to pull out of the Y and use that money. It's $15 a month. I could at least get 4, 8, 12. I could get 4 uses a month out of it. And so I could maybe do 2, and then I can use and I can, you know, go come up with other $15. So I will come up with another 15 in order to get 2 workouts a week in the pool right down the street from my house. And that will be fine because that's all I can do anyway. So I am working on those things. All right. Yes, ma'am, we have all been young and stupid. And Alfonso, I'm now off to grab dinner. Have a blessed day. Bear hug to you. Bear hug to you back. And you have a great dinner. And I'm going to be off working on a short for tonight and see how that goes over. I was blown away when I saw almost 2,000 subscribers or 2,000 viewers of it. It was funny. It's just funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, it's just a funny little video. So, all right. Thank you for coming. I appreciate you. If you don't mind making sure you do the thumbs up, if you don't mind sharing this with somebody, say, oh, if you watch 5 minutes of it, I don't know. No matter what, I love you guys. I'll see you again soon. Stay safe, stay healthy. I think I had whooping cough. Stay safe, stay healthy, and find your passion and do your passion. You never know when you might not have another time to do it. All right? Thank you.